Good morning, my friends out there in the internet lands. Welcome to You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. My name is Jamelyn Gray. I am the artistic director of the Constructivists and co-founder and current president of the Milwaukee Theater Alliance and creator and producer on this program here. So, and a mom and a wife and all the things. And so I welcome you here today, sort of flying lonely and solo because everybody is busy. So thank you, those out there who are joining us. Joining me, not us, me, because it can be rather lonely around this place. So we actually this is another pre-recorded segment that we're going to do today because people have busy lives, and so I sort of decided to do this program consistently at 11 a.m. because it's a decent time for me to run these things when we can get other hosts in on it, and sometimes that just doesn't work out for people's schedules anymore, so we're just doing the best we can to pre-record and get things out to you as we can. So so we have today Dimonte, Henning, and Cherie from Black Nativity, which is being produced by Black Arts MKE over at the Marcus Center. And we recorded it yesterday during the day. And so let me just go ahead and show you this great interview. There's a lot of great stuff in there that we cover. So enjoy. And then when I come back after this, then I just want to talk about some other things that are happening, some important things, and but we'll let you see this little chat that we had yesterday, at least, if I can find the things where they need to be. Yeah. Well, welcome to the both of you today on this Thursday, and can you two just introduce yourselves before we get into this interview here? Yes.
Sure. My name is Dimonte Henning. I am the director of Black Nativity by Langston Hughes.
And I am Cherie, and I am playing Mary in Black Nativity.
Awesome. Mary, as in the mother of
Absolutely.
Jesus, Mary. Yes. Yes.
That's her.
Yes. So, Dimonte, can you give me a little bit of a sense of the history of Black Nativity and how it came about?
Yeah, so Black Nativity by Langston Hughes, it was written in the 60s. And so Langston Hughes, his idea was to create the nativity story, the birth of Jesus Christ, but told through the Black lens, told through the Black experience. And so it was originally called Wasn't That a Mighty Day? But then he changed it to Black Nativity, just to give it that more of a direct appeal. And so what Black Arts MKE has done, they have produced the show since 2015 at the Marcus Center. And every year they've had a theme. In previous productions, the theme was Black Girl Magic. In other years, we've talked about the mass incarceration rate in this country and in this city. And so this year, our theme is for the culture. And what that means is it's about being unapologetically Black and celebrating Black life through the birth of Jesus Christ.
That's awesome. How do you work that theme in then as opposed to other years? Is there through that specific lens? I don't know. Is there costuming changes? Is there how do you work that all in?
Yeah, so this year, the choreography has changed. It has evolved over the past couple of years, and our choreographer Chris Gilbert has done an amazing job with just highlighting the culture in his choreography. So you'll see some choreography that's, from the 60s that goes to the 80s, to the 90s, to the 2000s, all the way to now. So it's that generation gap that we're bringing into this show, that you can bring your grandmother and be like, oh, that step reminds me of the Supremes, or you can bring a younger child and be like, oh, I learned that from TikTok. So it's that bridging that age gap that makes it special, and the relevance that we talk about what's going on now. We have slight references to what's going on now with the COVID-19 pandemic that we cannot ignore, that has impacted everyone's life. So I think that it's the combination of the culture throughout the years, the history, and what's going on currently in our country.
That's fantastic. I have never read this myself, and I have yet to go to one of the previous iterations, but I will be there this year. I'm gonna make it happen. And that is my, I try as best I can to make those promises out loud so that I have to make it happen. And so is it what we all think of the classic story of the Nativity, that whatever, the really white lens that we have been taught for years and years and years and years, at least I was in the Christian church, whatever. Is it that thing, but Langston Hughes just turned it into a version that can speak to in particular the Black audience?
Yeah, I I'm gonna let Erica comment on this too. It's that's why I'm so grateful that he renamed the play Black Nativity, because when you hear that, it's like, oh, okay, I know what this is, who this is geared towards, and so one of the biggest elements of the show is the gospel music. For a long time, gospel music has been a cornerstone in the Black community. It started with Negro spirituals as a way to connect us, our only source to connect us to God. It's something that has brought us through our struggles. It's something that we use to celebrate in our joy. So the gospel music it's to me what makes this play so special and what makes it Black. It's our music director Antoine Reynolds. He has done another incredible job with just adding hip hop influences in the piece. His rearrangement of these gospel songs. So, and Erica can speak to this because I'll let her speak to this, because it's not what you think you're gonna hear when you hear the music. It's completely different.
Yes, yeah. Tell me more.
I would just say, just to piggyback off of Dimonte, it is still the classic story. And I think that's what makes it so special, that it doesn't matter what color you are. If you come, you're going to connect with it, because it's still that classic story with like a little bit of flavor. That's how I describe the show. It's the classic story with some flavor, with some seasoning salt.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and tell me a little bit about this hefty role as this integral character of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Tell me about the process of that.
So let me first start off by saying it's a great honor to play such an iconic figure in just history, period. So like that in itself is like a huge, humongous just victory right there for me as an actress, that I get to play a role like that. But it is very emotionally taxing on me as an actress, even through the rehearsals, like, because we, Dimonte is really big on that, on telling the story and really giving the audience a glimpse on what these characters were really going through then. And so if you really are staying true to that, it's very emotionally taxing. And I actually have to give birth on stage, like go into active labor on stage. And so it is really like real and raw. And I leave rehearsal exhausted every single day because of it, not because of just the emotion behind it, but because of the Christopher, he's great, but the dancing is it's a lot of dancing. And Mary, she's with child during the show, and then she gives birth, so she's without child, but she dances the whole time. You would never know that she even had a baby. So
because women are amazing.
We are amazing. We are amazing. And I hope that women, that I can inspire them and empower them too. Like, man, look at her. Like Mary, she did that. I really want them to go and leave empowered. Like, she is a representation of us as women, like strong women, and what we can do. Because she really did have to go through a lot. And I think that we fail to realize that because we're in modern times. Yeah. But she was a very young girl, 14 years old, before pain medication was there. Really, I did my research on, back then how birth was, and it was a 50-50 thing. You could die by, having a baby, just a simple act of having a baby. And here she was 14, and, these women are gathered around her, and they don't even know if her body is going to be able to even bring forth a child. You know what I mean? So like, it's just an amazing story to begin with. And I have watched a reenactment of Mary giving birth as a 14-year-old. It was like just a reenactment that someone put together rawly, and it was really something. And I think, the day of the show, I'm going to really have to hone in to really give that energy and bring it out, because it is, like I said, even in rehearsal, it's just like, oh my God, because you have to hear the pain and everything that she's going through. And it's just, I think that everybody's going to just love the show and fall in love with it. You're not going to be able to leave without like clapping your hands, even if you don't want to. Your toe is going to be tapping in your shoe, and you don't even have to give it permission to, because the music makes you want to do that.
It's a rather large cast, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
16 people. 16.
On the larger end of things. Yes, you're starting to get into. I mean, I normally only work with about 4 actors at a time, so are there actors who come back? Is or is it a whole new cast? Like, how do you if anybody wants to come back, they come back, or how do you do that? Did you hold up?
This is my first year doing it. First year doing it, and a lot of them of the cast members, they've been involved with it since its conception. So I came in kind of like an outsider, but it's a fantastic community. I love Black Arts MKE. Like, the community there, they welcome me with open arms, and like our connection and our bond is just getting stronger and stronger by telling this story. And so I'm sure that this will not be the only year that I'm involved with this, because it's been an amazing experience. Sorry, Dimonte.
No, that was an excellent answer. I mean, like you said, we try to be a welcoming community for everybody. That's part of the mission for Black Arts MKE. We have some returning faces. Sean Holmes, who's very well known in the theater community, is back. Cynthia Cobb, Brielle Richmond, Michaela Usher. All of these individuals have been in previous productions of Black Nativity, and so it's great to have them back. But we also have a lot of new faces. I think this is the most new faces that we've had in recent productions. So it's a cast of 16, but we have about like 12 new faces, and it's
awesome.
New costumes, new choreography, a new band. It's a new show than what people have seen in the past.
That's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit more about Black Arts MKE and and their, like you said, their mission, but how they operate throughout the year?
Yeah, so Black Arts MKE's mission is to produce the high quality theater for African American artists, and to provide opportunities and platforms for African American artists. And so they were the co-sponsor for the Milwaukee Black Theater Festival this past year, which helped tremendously. They also work with organizations such as Lights Camera Soul, which I'm the artistic director of, and Bronzeville Arts Ensemble, to provide those resources and that support. So they really are a pillar in the arts community. Their offices are right in the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts building. So they have a lot of resources. They produce shows throughout the year. They just produced a show called Hip Hop DNA. They have a youth summer program during the summertime. So they do a lot. They have their hands in a lot of areas. So they're great.
Well, that's a good thing to mention, that Black Arts MKE is actually a resident company of the Marcus Center. Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get my facts mixed up.
Yeah.
So, and this production is at the Marcus Center.
Yes, at the Marcus Center, Wilson Theater, and Vogel Hall and Wilson Theater. They just changed the name. At the Marcus Center.
Can you fill me in a little bit about COVID protocols as far as this production is concerned?
Yeah, so I mean, our lives have changed since this pandemic has began, and so what? So just a little bit. So one of our COVID compliance officers, Susan Scott Fry, and she has done a tremendous job in making sure that the cast is safe, and the Marcus Center has done an amazing job. If you come see the show, you have to provide a vaccination card or a negative COVID test within the past 72 hours, which is great because we want people to feel comfortable. We want people to feel safe. And our actors are not playing all the way down to the end of the stage. They are 2 feet back from the end of the stage, just to make sure that our audiences can enjoy the show and comfortably and safely. Our actors, we take tests. I have to take a test 3 times a week, just to make sure everybody's healthy and safe. So much going on in our country. So,
is that different than years in the past? Yeah, is that different from years in the past? Where would the actors be closer? Do they do things in the audience in past iterations? Okay.
Yeah, which is something that we had to change. I wanted to do an audience entrance this year, but I couldn't. There were a couple entrances and times when we actually went into the audience, but we can't do that anymore. So we just have to, which is kind of great because this pandemic I felt like in so many areas, it has allowed us as artists to be even more creative because we have that, we have that barrier. And it's like, that's what we do as artists. It's like, whether you are unemployed, how do you create your job? How do you create as an artist when you're not working? And even when you are working with these hurdles that are in the way, how do I still tell this story authentically? So it's been a bittersweet moment for me.
Yeah. Blessing and a curse, sort of, I guess, is how that happens. I mean, Erica, so this is your first time with this particular piece. What are some other things that you've done in the community, and do you have something coming up next? What is your artist journey here?
So I like to stay very busy. So this is my first time doing this show. Before COVID hit, I had finished up Gospel at Colonus with Skylight, which was so awesome and such a fun show. I think next up I have Raisin. That wasn't supposed to come out of the box yet, but I guess it's out there. So I think
nobody watches this program anyway. It's fine.
But
I'll just edit that out, and we'll just do this jump to like Or we'll
Yeah.
beep it out or something.
Yeah, I don't know. That should be announcing. But yeah, I'm doing that one. I do a lot on radio and TV, so I stay really active, as far as that's concerned, especially during COVID. COVID actually was something that really skyrocketed me into the arts even more because I had stopped doing it. I'm a mom and a wife and I was a student. I just graduated in September, but like I was juggling all of that like during the pandemic. So like now I've settled, the dust has settled, and now it's just like go time. So I've been really busy like since that's happened, which is really great for me.
That's awesome. Dimonte, give me some of your next steps.
Me and Dimonte actually, we did Hairspray together. And we, yes, so we actually worked on stage together. So now he's the director and I'm just like, oh my God, look at Seaweed. Like he's directing. I'm so proud of him. And it's so awesome to see.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I've known of Erica's work for a long time. We both came from Majeska Youth Theater back in the day. We both know a lot of the same people. And when I found out that I was directing this, I was like, I gotta get Erica in this show. And luckily, I think she ended up reaching out saying that she wanted to audition before I even asked her to audition.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna miss it this year.
No, we made sure that we were gonna get you involved. But
I've talked about this a little bit, Dimonte. You hope to really make that balance of actor director, yes, about sort of straddling that line between performer and running the ship, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to act so bad. It's hard. Like one of our actors had to miss rehearsal yesterday.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, this is my opportunity. Now I can feel
Yes, he played that role too. He's always like, he can't, what's in you is going to come out. You can't contain it. So when we're in rehearsal, you'll see his feet moving. He'll get up and try to do the hip hop dance moves. He can't help himself. He can't help himself.
And like Erica was saying, this is one of these type of shows where you are gonna like toe tap, you're gonna sing along, even if you don't know the words. Like it's gonna get you to move because it's in your body. The music is so great, the choreography, and just the story alone. I mean, it's gonna motivate you some way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah,
and it's just a really great way for people who are sort of used to, like I said, the traditional story to get another perspective and a great experience, no matter age, where you come from, all of those things. Just a really great new experience to see a new spin on this story that maybe we haven't seen before.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things of this show is community. And I like to think of this story as Bethlehem, Milwaukee. There's a lot of, that Milwaukee, there's a lot of ad libs that happen in this show that are reminiscent of what is happening in Milwaukee. And so we try to make that connection very clear that this is Milwaukee. These are people that come from very different backgrounds, just like in our city, but we all have an obligation to look out for each other. And I'm really hoping that when people come see this show, that they will understand that we are in this together. That you will be able to reach out to that other person and, show that sympathy, because we all live complex lives. We all go through so much, but if we just are, understanding that we're in this together, I'm really hoping that it can impact and change some lives.
That's what theater is for. Yeah. To bring people together and share experiences, and that's what it is at its core, and it's a wonderful and magical thing, as I always say. You all are opening next week, Thursday, December 9th. It's one weekend only. It's one weekend only. Like you gotta get your butts in there, and so is it 4 performances?
There are 6 performances. I do want to
Holy
say
cats.
this is a special offer on December 9th. Is our community night. Tickets are $5 for ages 17 and under.
What?
18 and over tickets are $20. Seats are filling fast. This is only for the Thursday, December 9th show. Otherwise, tickets go back to regular price. If you can't make it on the 9th, we encourage you to come. Bring a family member, bring your kids, bring your neighbor, tell everybody. There are 4 performances, and you can find out more information on the Marcus Center's website.
And what is that? Is that marcuscenter.com?
marcuscenter.org/Black Nativity.
All right. I will spread that out to the masses. marcuscenter.org/Black Nativity.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Any other I don't know, insider things, bits of information, any secret codes, any I don't know, any keys to the universe? What do we have here, people? Like what?
If you have keys to the universe, I would like to.
Right. Hand them over now.
We'll talk.
Yes.
Thank you both so much for your artistry, giving to the community, and making work like this happen for artists in Milwaukee. Please keep that going. And I thank you so much for coming on the program a day early, and we will get this out tomorrow so that hopefully we can get all those butts and seats next weekend. One weekend only. People out there, get your butts in there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you. We'll see you when you come back.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was a super fun interview. I was just watching it back, and those two are so funny, and that was just a really great thing. I'm going to the show. Are you going to the show? One weekend only. You should. I will hopefully see you there next weekend. I do think I looked better yesterday. I don't know. I feel a little tired. Maybe it's just this Friday. Yeah. So anyway, Black Nativity. Get there. What a great story and spin. And Langston, he's such a wonderful playwright. And so, get there. You have the website, you have the things. See you there. I do want to go over just a couple of other things like we normally do because it's important. Right now we have Little Shop of Horrors. Oh, just one of the bestest musicals of all time happening over at Skylight, and just another thing that I have to get over to. And both of these things I'm going to try to get my kid Aurora. She's a music person, and so I'm very excited to get her over there. I would check if you do have kids. I would check the recommendations on these. Especially Black Nativity, like Erica was saying, has a birthing scene in it. Clearly, I mean that is the whole story, right? And then Little Shop of Horrors, it's funny, but there's some real adult themes in there. So I would just, your kids, just check. So you can go to skylightmusictheatre.org for tickets for that. Milwaukee Opera Theater has a caroling thing tomorrow. It is that time of year. This is from 3 to 7 p.m. at the corner of 68th and Wells. Check out that stuff. Food trucks, Santa, carolers, vendors. Oh my gosh. Another thing that I might have to get my kid. Oh, no. Another story. Don't worry about it. So you can always go to MilwaukeeOperaTheatre.org for information on these things. The other one is their home cooked heroes project. This is virtual, and you can get access to this through December 31st. So for the rest of this month, you can. Such an interesting man. I just love MOT. Like Joanna's brain and the artists that she works with are just, superb. Opera on the fringe, as one might say. The Home Cooked Heroes with the Decameron Opera Coalition is a project with, I think it was 12 other opera companies around the country, really just expressing thanks to people in their community over the course of this pandemic. And this one in particular is a spoken word opera with text. You heard me. By some great artists, Britt Nicole and Ms. Lotus Funk. I still have to get that interview up with Britt Nicole because she was a card and just so, like, her brain space. I have to share that with you. Oh, just, one thing after another. One thing that I still have to do. They were thanking the staff and volunteers from Milwaukee's Tricklebee Cafe. They were exploring what it means to operate a pay-what-you-can restaurant in the center of a food desert. I mean, that whole idea is enough in itself. Just food deserts and food shortages in the United States of America, greatest country in the world or whatever. So again, go to MilwaukeeOperaTheatre.org for information on that. As always, oh my Lord, we have, this new variant and the world is ending and exploding and all the things. The best recommendations out there still are to, if you are not vaccinated, please do so. It is the best defense that we have right at this moment in time. In addition to, I think the Milwaukee recommendations came out that even if you're vaccinated, just wear a mask indoors with people you don't know, or people that are not in your household. We have to do the things. We just have to do the things to get beyond this. Oh my gosh. So please do that if you can. I always have to thank Imagine MKE for use of this platform that we use for this program, because it makes life so much easier for me, especially when I'm having to do these shows on my own sometimes. So thank them for that. I also have to go into a little bit. There is this American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA and ARPA funds. If you have heard anything about this at all, it's just the recovery funds for COVID, and there's local funding that are allocated and whatnot to local municipalities and whatnot. There was a Milwaukee County meeting on this yesterday, and David Lee, who's the CEO of Imagine MKE, sent out a communications on this meeting beforehand, and it was apparent that there was going to be no discussion on included in these ARPA funds about arts, culture, or creativity. I'm going to keep harping on this because I'm not really sure people understand the effect that being 49th in state funding of the arts. Wisconsin is 49th in state funding for the arts. We spend the 49th least amount of money per person on arts funding. 50th is Arizona, because they went to zero for all of their arts funding. So we are second to zero. I hope we're proud, people. And so he was asking that we reach out, and this is sort of this longer discussion on getting residents of Wisconsin more involved, and Milwaukee County and surrounding counties, the greater Milwaukee area, to be more active in communicating with city officials and your representatives of arts and how important arts funding is. Milwaukee County, and I'm just gonna, because I got all these nice numbers from David Lee, so thank you, and his team, which is an amazing team, so kudos to them. Milwaukee County has only thus far allocated 6% of ARPA funds, so it's really important if you live in Milwaukee County. But I'm just gonna say, just reach out to your representatives, no matter where you live, if you're listening to me to harp on this stuff. Being 6% in Milwaukee County means there's still 94% out there. And Imagine MKE is trying to communicate to the Milwaukee reps that funding needs to be bumped up to 2% of county funding to really be at a good place for the artists and patrons of the arts in Milwaukee. Right now, the city of Milwaukee invests just 0.02% of its annual budget in the arts. That number makes me want to vomit. I'm so frustrated with the mentality in this country of the arts being an extra, a privilege, all of that nonsense. We really need to, and I'm trying to help here, shift the narrative that the arts are a public good. We need the arts in our lives. I know that we've been saying this for years and years and years and years, and I'm working with the Theater Alliance and Imagine MKE and whatnot on how to reshape this, how to be louder, how to really make it more important to everybody out there to keep the arts in their lives. I think if COVID has shown us anything, it's how nuts people can become when they don't have community in their lives. Isolation has really, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've noticed it, that people are just different and nervy and really just, aggressive and all of those things, and we've lost all kinds of empathy in our lives, and we need to shift this. And the arts are one of the best ways to do that. Again, I want to start a program about particularly the non-equity community, because the non-equity or non-union theater community is really larger than the union community, and really reaches a lot more artists than the numbers of people in the union itself. The non-union community is more like the storefront community, even community theater, and there's different levels. It's something that we need to talk to you about outside of You've Got a Thing, because You've Got a Thing is really about the things that are happening. I really want to start focusing on educating the public on how we work, why we do the things that we do, and the value that it is to society. I always like to say I'm here on this planet because of theater, and I mean that in a mental health sort of way. Coming from a background of chaotic childhood and really an abusive background, and I've mentioned this, and I talk about it openly. That theater was a home and a place for me to be, and I really want to keep You've Got a Thing going, because we need this platform to let people know all the things that are going out there. But it's also important to let people know why those things need to be out there and how to keep those things going, especially in terms of money and 49th and state funding and all of those types of things. So I really hope to get that going soon. I need to send out an email communication. You don't know the emails I need to send out. But anyway, so that's what I've got today. Oh, but to say, Imagine MKE makes it really, really, really easy for you to communicate with your representatives on these money things. Go to imaginemke.org and you can go into their activism section, and they have text and things for you to copy and paste and put out there. It's so easy. You like the brain space that you need to come up with is really, really, really small to make these things happen. Oh, I was going to say too, because David Lee was really specific about this. The chair of the ARPA task force is Supervisor Sean Rowland, who is the 6th district in Wauwatosa, who apparently has proposed cutting CAMPAC funds. CAMPAC is, I always forget that. Just Google CAMPAC, please. In last year's county budget, cutting all the funds in the county budget. That was Sean Rowland's idea last year. And he still remains leery of utilizing public funds for the arts. Did you hear me? So, if Supervisor Sean Rowland is in your district, the 6th district, Wauwatosa, could you reach out to either myself or Imagine MKE directly and find out how you can better communicate with somebody who believes that arts funding should be cut when it's already like 0.02% in Milwaukee? And this is just maddening to me. So get on it if that guy is your rep. If you could, please, that would be a big help. But thank you so much for being here with me today. Or if you're watching this and a future program, join us on a live version one of these times, and let's chat through the internet lands. And be well out there. Please be kind out there. I know it's hard. I know it's rough, but please just breathe before you let something out of your mouth there. You know, it's kind of why I pause a lot when I talk, because yeah, sometimes my brain just wants to. You see that potty mouth down there? Yeah. And so thank you so much for being here or watching this at a later time. And we will hopefully see you next week on a new episode of You've Got a Thing!